Good morning, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. It's another morning in the world of Manchester United, and we're going to talk a lot of things. We're going to roast what the media is saying. I have Sal Warner from Stretford Post in the end. Stretch your back, get that blood flowing through your veins, have a sip on your coffee, whatever you're drinking, tea, coffee. I don't know what time it is, where you're sitting, but where I'm sitting, it's coffee time. In the meantime, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because here we go. So what would a story be without this coming out from the press? That is 100% after we lost against Newcastle over the weekend. We've seen it all before. It's an old chestnut that needs to be roasted. And what better way to roast it is to bring in Sal. Good morning, Sal. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mick. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Sal, how did Ten Hag lose 50%? Did he lose 50 kilos or 50% of that dressing room, or what is this old chestnut? We've seen it all before. Sal, talk to us.
I mean, I can't believe we're here in 2023, 24, and we're talking about the same things that have been going on for the last 5 years. It's almost predictable. I wrote a tweet about a few months ago predicting that this would happen. It's actually happened earlier than I thought. I usually say the third season, but it's happened on the second season now that these leaks that come from the dressing room, I actually feel that these leaks are coming from agents and family members indirectly from certain players to spread animosity in the dressing room, which is unacceptable, again, to be honest with you.
100%, my friend. I think we should change the background to the dressing room. What do you reckon? Should we have this one, or should we have this one? Is more of a dressing room, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah, definitely.
That's the one. That's the one. So let's stick to the dressing room stage and talk, because, according to my opinion, Sal, 50% of that squad needs to go anyway, right? It's not that 50% wants him out. I think it's the usual suspects. I mean, we're not going to mention the publications and the names, but it's so ironical because they always have this article blueprint every year. They're saving it, and they pull up the same article, same headline. It was there for Jose. It was there for Van Gaal. It was there for Ragnick. It was there for Ole. And yeah, I mean, of course, everyone was disappointed over the lack of fight over the weekend, Sal. I mean, I haven't heard from you. Myself, as I said, I did a rant. I was so angry, and I slept on it, and I did another rant this morning. And I think I got over it, right? But I really was angry with the lineup. I was really angry with the lack of fight, determination for certain players, Rashford being one of them. I mean, I want to hear from you, mate. I want to hear from you because you haven't spoken. I want to hear from you, like, in terms of how did you saw the overall fight with the team and tie it into that 50% dressing room leaks?
It's the same old. It's the same old. At the beginning of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure, they started playing well. They get the fans all hyped up. And it's the same with Ten Hag. They get the fans hyped up. They start doing well. And then they drop, And speaking of Rashford, as a fan for a long, long time, as you have been and others, I come from a generation of Lee Sharp, David Beckham, Andre Kanchelskis.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too.
Those players would fight. You don't see it on TV, you just see the attacking prowess. But those players would track back. They would tackle. Giggsy would go all the way back to the left back position, make a tackle, and run back. And that's the type of mentality that we're lacking. We have no fight. Newcastle had a lot of injuries, but why were Newcastle United showing more fight than us? This is the question. I mean, they don't have better players than us. You know, okay, we have a couple of players in there. I've been questioning for years, McTominay, etc. This fight, this mythical fight from McTominay, I don't see. Name one amazing tackle that McTominay's ever done. You know,
He
I
got
don't see it.
outclassed, out bullish from Joe Linton as well, like, you know. And
He got bullied, yeah.
That's the thing where we bought Amrabat to replace McFred, Fred, sorry. But the thing is, he hasn't really played Amrabat. He keeps reverting back to Scott McTominay, and I was getting to a conspiracy theory. There's certain players that shouldn't be in this squad. 100%. They survived all these managers for the past 10 years, and they're still there, and they're always getting picked. So I have a theory. Somebody's sitting there whispering in Ten Hag's ear to say that you must play these players. Like, if Ten Hag came out to say that I'm not here to play the Ajax way, now what the hell are you here for then? You know, you gotta. I mean, that's what we recruited you for, like, you know, to make the change to play your style of football. But he goes to say, I'm here to play the Man United way. And I say, well, I don't know, Sal, the Man United way died since Sir Alex Ferguson left. We haven't played that style of football for ages. Right?
We haven't. No, he has to create his own legacy. We can't keep talking about the Man United way. What is the Man United way? The last 15 years, it's like Jose Mourinho said, it's heritage. Our recent heritage is one of a mid-table club. You know, a Europa League club, semi-finalists, maybe the odd trophy here and there. But to be honest with you, I think that these leaks, today, I just read the article today and I couldn't believe what I was reading, and this down tooling of players in the team, especially certain players. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was reading, because at the end of the day, these Man United fans, they travelled to Everton and then they travelled to Galatasaray, then they went up to Newcastle. And all for what? The performances. Let's be real, we should have drew against Everton. You know, let's be real, we should have done. And then
we should have sealed the victory against Galatasaray.
Sealed a victory against Galatasaray. But one thing I would say is that, I know I might sound, but don't we play better when Rashford isn't in the team? Don't we? Ain't we a better attacking prowess with Rashford?
Listen, there's so much to point on, and that's the thing. Like, are you allowed to criticize certain players? Are you not allowed to criticize certain players? What I mean? And some players
Rashford, yeah. Well, Rashford, he criticised the fans many times. He sticks middle fingers up at the fans outside the ground. So at the end of the day, I do feel like you said, there's people whispering in their ears. I heard that Joel Glaze is a good friend of Rashford on the phone. I heard. So obviously he's going to be protected, and obviously he's going to have that air of arrogance. This is what I'm hearing from my side. So obviously they're going to have that arrogance, like, you can't touch me, I'm too expensive. It's easy to get rid of the manager.
Yes. You're touching on a football economy side of it, because at the end of the day, you know, Rashford just signed a new contract. He's an asset, $375K a week, right? On a 5-year contract, you're doing your maths, and Ten Hag, they can pay up 20 million to get rid of him, right? On a garden leave. So they rock up to training. They do the bare minimum. They make sure they fool the manager and everyone else to get picked for the game. And as soon as you step your foot on that game, you should fight like Newcastle, like everyone else is doing. But where's your fight? Where's your determination? I think you're getting paid $350 a week and you're happy, right? Yeah, I can do whatever I want. I'm still here for another 5 years. I'll still get my weekly wages. That's
that's the thing. But some of us, we actually love the club, you know, and the thing is, we haven't got players there who I don't think generally love the club like they used to. I mean, I believe they're getting paid too much. They're rich too soon. I mean, why are they going to break their leg in a tackle like Roy Keane used to do? Why are they going to do that? They're rich. They're rich already. Now we're hearing stories like, they train us like robots. He trains us like robots. You know, it's too dark outside. The kit's too tight.
Again.
What other excuse me?
Okay, play naked then. Play naked. Nothing
play
on
naked,
you. Like,
you know, playing, you know.
Wrap yourself in silk and
pajamas, PJs, whatever you want to do.
Get Harry Maguire's grandma come down there to Carrington to serve you some nice cup of tea and some scones freshly baked.
I know it's all too familiar. This has been happening for for years and years and years, and they're just going to twist another one, you know. And why don't we do something different for a change and just back this manager and give the manager a new contract? Because forget all this business with the players, because they're going to have to step up or leave for me if they don't step up.
Just hold your thoughts, hold your beer, hold your coffee, guys, because good morning to you guys that's tuning into the show. I know it's 8:30 morning in the UK time. Good morning, Carlos, to you. How are you saying, Mick, and everyone from UK? Ten Hag should walk away from this toxic club, sick of it, and he should expose everybody. 100%. That's your opinion, and your opinion is always welcome on this show as well. We could talk about that as well. Mita, she say, good morning to you. Jarle Malmin, all the way from Norway, saying, I'm afraid it looks like to be true. We saw the body language of the play against Newcastle. They're not enjoying themselves. Now, that begs the question then back, you know, if Ten Hag knows who the bad apples are, right? Why is he picking them? And that comes down to the question again, who is whispering in his ear, forcing him to play these players? Do they have a sort of force major in the contract to say you have to play, right? Because it doesn't make sense. You're shoehorning Rashford into the right-hand side, right? It's clearly Rashford doesn't love this team. He doesn't love this manager. He loves himself. And he's been told to do things that he really doesn't really want because the body language don't lie. You know, Garnacho surpassed him, right? Yeah, and then you're hindering other players that are in form on the right wing. We're talking about Dos Santos, Antony, and we're talking about Pelistri, and we know that we have Amad Diallo coming back as well. So there's going to be definitely competition for places. For you to put in that stinker for 45 minutes, right? It's not acceptable, right? You are the poster boy. You're getting paid $375, and you are a role model for these young academy players as well. Don't you agree? Sal.
I agree, and I'm so happy that Roy Keane called him out over the weekend, and he took him apart piece by piece. And I wonder if Rashford's PR team are going to write a tweet about that, you know, about Roy Keane calling him out. It's easy to target fan cams, you know. It's easy to target us fans because we're easy to target, you know. But why not respond to someone like Roy Keane, who was a proper captain, who dragged the team through the fire to win the game, you know? Why don't he tweet about that? It's so easy to attack people like us, me and you.
True. But Sal, like, you know, on my channel, I have Elian Tenno, a legend, Peter Walker. He's a match going fan for 40 years, you know, goes up and down the country, away, home. And he said to me, I'm tired of this. I don't want to see this anymore. Get out of my club, right? Because touch the nerve again, what you're saying. They're paying expensive money to watch the team play. And if you're not going to put in performance, what's the point of being there? So that's why I said Jarvis Cocker messaged me this morning, my co-host, to say, you know, what Ten Hag should do is just get rid of this 50% instead of 50% against him. But another thing is, well, like, you know, let's transition over to the next story, is that British media seems to protect their own. Like, you know, Grame Souness, for instance, came in to say, instead of slamming Rashford, he slams Martial. Jesus Christ. I mean, we know the beef between Souness. He was slamming, like, you know, Licha. He was slamming Paul Pogba for a while. And how can you be that blind, even if you're a Liverpool ex-player? You saw that it didn't work for 45 minutes. Managers was given time to do something, and the manager didn't do the substitution until it was too late. But when Rashford came out, he threw his gloves on the ground, which clearly showed his body language. He's frustrated. He came to the bench, spoke to some youngsters on the bench, camera zoom into him, and he was saying clearly, what the F am I doing here? Right? But then Souness slams Martial. Really? I mean, this is the rinse, wash, and repeat.
It's this old passport thing again. I mean, I'm a British guy, born and raised in England, so I can say it. I mean, I mean, if there's not bias, if you tell me there's not bias, you're lying. You're lying. These people have the connections to every single UK PR team there is. You know, these players like Martinez, Martial, all these players that have been criticised, they don't have UK PR companies. And the same will happen in France with English players. or Italian in Italy with English players. The same will happen. But this is the same nonsense that I'm hearing. I mean, I stopped listening to people like Souness because he's not mentioning the core problems of the team. I ain't once heard him say McTominay from his mouth once.
Never.
You know,
Never.
And McTominay, he'd be hard fetched to get into my local team, which was Leyton Orient. He'd be hard
Yeah,
fetched
but he's
to get
out.
into their team.
He's Scottish. He's Scottish.
He's Scottish, apparently, but yeah, he's Scottish.
I don't hear the Scottish accent at all.
No, he's born and raised. Yeah, he's just couldn't get in the England team. Well, he probably would have got in the England team under Gareth Southgate, knowing Gareth Southgate. But the end of the day, I'm tired of this narrative from Grame Souness that, you know, all foreigners are wrong. He's forgetting one thing, that Martial. Okay, Martial hasn't been great. Okay, he's missed a lot of games. Okay, but he's had so many injuries as well. He's had so many injuries. Rashford hasn't had the serious injuries that Martial has had. I understand. No, I'm not saying that Martial is the man. Martial is a problem as well. I think we should go as well. You know,
yeah,
so
Martial's
the problem. He's a problem as well. But blaming Martial when there's problems in that team, there is McTominay, there's Rashford. You know, there's obviously Lindelof, Sancho. I mean, Sancho, we got people defending the guy. I mean, defending a petulant child who left a tweet online disrespecting the manager who gave him 3 months off work paid. I don't know where we're going from here. This is not Manchester United for me.
But Sal, hold that thought for a second. Let's just. I want to spin further on that. You know, I worked in HR for a long time, transformation and change, people and culture. And one thing that I know, because these players are under employment contract, there's no different. They are employees by Manchester United. For you to go out and do something like this, to be banned from the locker room, banned from speaking to anyone, you must have done something really, really hideous, right?
Correct.
So,
and we live in a culture now where, you know, it's blame culture, and it's like you can't say that about that person.
Yep.
You can't, because, you know, you can't say that. That's my friend. You know, that's Sancho. That's my friend. They're acting like this guy was prolific. This guy's been a flop. He's been an 80 million flop. You can count on one hand how many good games he's had. You know, you think of one goal against Liverpool. What else?
But the problem, I think, that Rashford is like, in England international, he thinks he's Mbappe, same. He was big in and up. He had a great season. One great season when he scored 30 goals, but that's about it. That's about it. Why can we not allow to criticize, give critics when critics due, right? And it should be applied fair equal to all the Manchester United squad, including the manager. Like, I got to put my hand up. I was criticizing the manager over the weekend. You know, he swayed me to Erik Ten Hag doubt, because that was the only reason I said to you, if he picks Rashford on the right wing, you know, I'm seriously going to question it. And then it reminded me, like, who sits there, like, you know, as a technical director. It's been sitting there, boys for the jobs. Like, he was there when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the job on no merit. We're talking about Daren Fletcher, right?
Yeah.
Chewing gum. What is his merit? Like, you know, he just got in the Glazer simp, according to my opinion. He got his twin sons in, you know, forced to sell some, you know, amazing academy players just to get his own twin sons in. I'm sorry. But then he's been sitting there, like, in the shadow, in the background, like, as a technical director, right? He was sitting there whispering on the coaching staff bench. We saw it under Ragnick, whispering in his ear. So he's been there all the way.
Yeah, Daren Fletcher, even as a player, he was given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity until he became a great player. He was a great player in the end, but look, Shea Lacey, a young player in the academy, he's going to be put at the back of the queue because of these Fletcher boys. Because jobs for the boys, you know, they've always got a space for the ex-players, you know. And I haven't seen much of these Fletcher boys. They might be really talented, but we all know why they're in the Man United academy. It's not because they've been spotted somewhere. It's because they're related to Daren Fletcher, and that's where we're going wrong. That's where we're going wrong. This didn't used to happen at our club. It's the
Jesus Christ, man.
Best of the best. Whether you're Spanish, whether you're German, whatever, best of the best. And these Fletcher boys are going to be the new McTominays.
But still, that needs to change, because the spell needs to be broken. Like, you know, it ain't matter who you get in as a manager. If the manager cannot practice his freedom of thoughts, freedom of speech, freedom of play, without interruption, because that's clearly happening right in front of our eyes. Like, he's been sabotaging the transfer market. He's been told, you're not allowed to have this one. He wanted to have Xavi Simons. Now we're going to get you an English talent like Mason Mount, XYZ, right? So maybe that's him saying, I'm not going to play these people because they were not my first choice, to be honest, right? But at the end of the day, you live by this sword, you die by this sword. And if you know the blueprint in front of you, if you've seen this happening before, then the only way you can do Ten Hag is to break that spell. Like, see what the fans are seeing. Don't play these people. Don't play Martial. Don't play Rashford. Don't play these people. You showed Cristiano Ronaldo the door 100%. You gave the sin bin to Sancho, and we know that Sancho and Rashford are best buddies, right? So is that something that Rashford is taken in consideration? Like, no, you treat my mate like that, I'm not going to rock up for you, mate. You know what?
Toxicity doesn't need to be blatant in your face. They could be whispering behind the scenes. They can act all nice in front of the cameras, in front of Ten Hag. They could be nice to Ten Hag, but behind the scenes on the WhatsApp groups, they could be saying all sorts, And this is the thing. Like, I know that Sancho and Rashford were good friends, so obviously it's going to affect Rashford. Well, it would affect a weak mentality kind of player. I remember Lee Sharp and Ryan Giggs were good friends when Lee Sharp got dropped, but it didn't affect his game, did it? You go on the pitch and you play. You play for the club, you play for the badge, you play for the fans. That's what you do. You don't go up and start, he annoyed he upset my friend, blah, blah, blah. These people need to go into the real world. What happens at a real job environment? What happens if you don't like that person? Who cares? I'm here to do a job. I'm here to do my job. That's it.
Okay, mate, I'm just so tired of these leaks, and there's some stenographers out there that are specializing in, they're not Manchester United fans. They just want to print, papers, clicks, and everything. So you just attach yourself to the name Manchester United, and voila, you have millions of engagement. And by the way, club loves engagement too. They've been saying that. This generates a lot of public attention, including the sales takeover. Like, how much money they made out of this on the social media, on the back end of the gullible fans as well.
Exactly.
But it comes down to also that, Gary Neville spoken out as well to say Gary Neville is also tired. He claims Ten Hag's side have no definite style of football. He's basically saying, I'm tired of reporting on it. I'm tired of watching them play. I'm tired. I think he feels like we do, like we are tired of everything that's been going around. I mean, the circus, the media circus. But for him to come out...
Did you see the way they worded that? They said style of football. Gary Neville didn't mention style of football.
He didn't say that. That's, again, let's bring it up to the stage and analyze it then, because that's what we do on this channel. We scrutinize media, and they say basically former player turned pundit Gary Neville has condemned the style of football currently being played under the manager Ten Hag. Did he do that?
No, he did not. He mentioned he's just tired of watching the team. He's tired of waking up and getting prepared to watch the team. He's tired of the Glazers. He's tired of the players. He just said in general, he was tired of watching football. But then he said, but he will get himself up for the game on Wednesday, and his life will revolve around watching Manchester United again. He didn't once mention about style of football.
No, he didn't.
This is just to bring Ten Hag into it again. This is the media. They're bringing Ten Hag into it. Again, didn't they see the style of football last season that we were trying to play? Didn't they see it last season? We were playing good football last season.
But that comes back to again, is people wake up and smell the coffee, because we've been trying to do this, educate people that media has an agenda against Manchester United. Ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, he pissed off a lot of people. Like, media was not his friend, right? And basically, they are out there, like, they've been thriving because a bad Manchester United that's not winning anything makes them a lot of money. I call them the gravy train, that sort of press. And they've always been lining up stories. They're always putting PR to get the managers sacked. It's called the 18 months cycle, right? So if you control the information flow, you control the mindset and how you influence certain people, right? I'm not going to get influenced because I see football differently. I see it from a 360 holistic perspective. I always look at the root cause analysis, and I follow, the trails, and I apply my logic and reasoning. But people nowadays, Sal, they just read the big fat headlines, and it's so easy to deceive you, right? Because what does people react on? Emotions, fear, right? That's how if I print something happy headline, nobody's going to click on it. But if I print something like negative clickbait stuff, you got to get 1,000 clicks more.
Exactly, and this is, I mean, years and years and years they've had to put up with Sir Alex Ferguson, and we hurt a lot of people, and it's evident right to this day that we did hurt a lot of people growing up, with our success and with Sir Alex Ferguson and the media. He was not a media friend. He banned the BBC, etc. So they're never going to like us. They're never going to like us. I mean, but that should be a motive for the team to go out there and win things. But unfortunately, the players seem to be on the media side. And this is the thing, and there's players there like, I mean, I heard you mention about Rashford. I keep hearing about 30 goals last season.
30,
Steve Bruce once scored 16 from defence in one season. It doesn't matter. It's a one-off. Yeah, it's a one-off, right? If you cannot be consistent, being a world-class player is about consistency. Look at Mbappe. He's dragging PSG, dragging them. Every game, he's dragging them. He's never taken his foot off the pedal. Now, in regards to United and the media, we grew up supporting Man United, and we know the hatred is deep for United. We know that, and to this day, they don't want the best for Man United. They don't
want, and even when it comes to the takeover, Sal, when it comes to the takeover,
exactly. And me and you, especially, we were singing from the same hymn sheet in regards to Qatar. Qatar were the only people who could have changed this culture at the club, because it was a full sell and they have money. They could have said, okay, you're not going to play, out the door. Look at Newcastle. Newcastle weren't there down tall. They'd be out the door because of the Saudis. They'd be out
because
the door.
They're playing. I mean, this is the sad part, and we're going to touch about the takeover as well, Sal. But this is the sad part, that Newcastle has overtaken United. We are stuck in quicksand, and we've been in quicksand for 10, 11 years, right? That model doesn't work anymore, and that kind of proves you what new ownership, new cash injection, a new sporting vision, people that believe in the club and wants to win, how far it will take you. The problem here, Sally, is that I'm so tired, first and foremost, of this Stockholm syndrome, which means that a lot of fans here in the fan base are protecting certain players, and we feel sorry about it, we should feel sorry about the victim, or why are you slagging Maguire? Why he's one of our? Why are we slagging? No, it's mediocrity, mate. And the same thing goes with the British media. It's kind of that Stockholm syndrome, right? Protecting. He's always protecting one of ours. But when it comes down to the overall Newcastle and the Saudi money, nobody's talking about that. But look what they've done. Manchester United currently, when David Gill left, Sir Alex Ferguson left, has been there's been a huge gap. It's been run by bankers above. So it ain't matter who you have appointed. Pedigree-winning, award-winning CVs like Mourinho, Van Gaal, and argue to the point, they wanted to win trophies. They wanted to be the best. But what's the point if you don't have support above that only wants to make top four because top four makes you money, mate? They don't have the same ambition to win. So how the hell are you going to move forward as a club unless that change? So Newcastle is a bloody good example since Ashley left and they got Saudi money, and they've organically been picking the right coach, sticking to the coach, and recruiting organically, building that team. And look where they are now. 2 years down the line, they would like scraping relegation.
Exactly. Right? And how long? 1 year. 1 year. And let's be fair. Let's be honest. They played better than us in the League Cup final.
Oh, no,
we were fortunate. We got a couple of goals there. We had a deflected shot. It went in, and we were fortunate. But their progress is evident. They haven't spent 400 million yet, but they're buying players that fit the system and the culture of the club. They're not just buying players because, it's a stopgap. We just need a body there. I mean, it's well known that we didn't want Casemiro, even though Casemiro has been a very good signing. He didn't want Casemiro. He wanted De Jong. And
yeah, it's true.
It's little things like this that prevent Ten Hag doing his job properly.
Yeah.
But also in regards to mediocrity, our standards are dropping by the season. I mean, we're talking about Maguire like he's Paolo Maldini. The guy has played.
Oh, yeah.
How many goals have we conceded the last 5 games? 5 to 10 games. How many? We conceded how many? Like 15. You know, we conceded non-stop. Maguire is a good player for a team like Spurs or Everton, someone like that. He's a good player for them, but he's not a Manchester United player, and that's pretty obvious. You know, and you can have a clean sheet, but we're playing survival football. We're playing deep. Because of Maguire and players like that, they can't bring the ball out. We're playing deep. So Ten Hag has gone back on what he believed in so strongly last season, and going back to the way we were under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's the one criticism I have with Ten Hag. But as we said, is there whispers from the top? Because in my opinion, I would get the youth team.
I would walk away if somebody was influencing me to do my job.
I would walk away.
I would walk away.
I'll just play the youth team. But then they're going to say, oh, but he's an asset. Maguire's an asset. Sancho's an asset. Rashford's an asset.
They're all assets.
Yeah, and this is the thing with it. And there's no way that Jim Ratcliffe, 25% Jim, is going to come in and he's going to change everything. He's going to say, right, what's the cheapest way to fix things?
Okay. Listen, there's so many people. I mean, sorry, VR room people we call you VR room. It's the first time you're watching. People in the chat room, you are the VR room, and we will get to your comment sections in a bit. But we are such in a heated debate, me and Sal here, like, you know what? But that kind of leads me into the next story, and you mentioned it. The everyone thinks like, oh, as soon as Ratcliffe comes in, 25%, we're going to be so much better. We're going to get a sporting director. We're going to get the CEO, and it's the same thing. They're blowing smoke up your ass, mate. Like, you know, just to make you endorphins happy to look at this. Look, this is a new shiny toy, but forget about the problems that's in the background, which is still glazes, right? And that's my dilemma. And this whole thing, as I always say, you know, we on this channel, I would love Sir Jim Ratcliffe to take 100%, right? I endorse everyone that's want to buy 100% and get the glazes out. But what is 25% going to do, right? It's like you sell walking into the finest steakhouse, right? And you planning to order the biggest T-bone steak. I'm using steak. I mean, are you going to order 25% and eat 25% of that steak? Or do you want to go, I'm going to have 100% of that steak and eat it?
Exactly. We're going to have 100%, you know, 100% of the steak. And this is the thing. This is how low we've come. I mean, I feel sorry for the fans, because these fans, we've been through a lot this last 15 years. And I feel like we're trying to cling on to any bit of positivity. But me and you knew, and many of the fan base knew, we needed a full sale. Whether that was Jim, whether that was Apple, whether that was Amazon, Elon Musk, whoever it is, we needed a full sale and debt-free. Because we accumulate our own money. We accumulate our own money. We make our own money. But all our money's going into the debt. And this is the issue. And we haven't got football people at the club. We've got people at the club who are not interested in success on the pitch. They're interested, obviously, top 4. That's what's going to get Ten Hag the sack. If he doesn't get that top 4, he's gone. That's it, because that's going to take money from their pockets. And that's
but the way he can win the fans over is to actually, you know, stop picking youth players, integrate them into the team. The way Ole was sacked, the way everyone was sacked, they was picking the same bloody players. They were picking McTominay, they were picking Rashford, everyone. Like, he's doing the same pattern. So if he wants to break that spell, don't pick the players that will let you down. Put them on the bench. I wouldn't call it a punishment, but I think Rashford needs 3-6 weeks off. Send him off to Holland, whatever, boot camp, whatever. Get your thing back on what you did like last season, because there's a good player in him. Right? Defenders were saying in the Prem, he is the worst player that can ever meet.
I mean, psychologically, if you look at his body language, you can tell from a person, and you can tell from a person their attitude, the way they are. He's never happy. He's never smiling. He's not like Dwight York. You look at that guy and say, I want to meet that guy. He seems like a nice guy. They should send him off to Holland, sell him to Roda JC or something, and see what he does down there, you know, and see if he can, you know, score some goals over there. I would have sold him by now. Any other elite club would have sold Rashford by now. That's a fact. And Real Madrid.
And this is what I agree with a friend of ours, Terry Lewis from Football Terrace. He did a beautiful rant, and he said Rashford loves the club. Rashford loves himself. Rashford doesn't love this team, and Rashford doesn't love this manager. You can clearly see that, and I totally agree what Terry was saying there. Like, because body language says everything, right? Clearly, like, you're not happy with that your good mate's been, put in the sin bin. You're not happy that you're not getting your spot. You're not happy that you're no longer being the individual brilliance. Ten Hag ball is all about, defend together, attack together, act like a team. But I think that Ten Hag is kind of put this principle aside a bit, because he's no longer playing out of the back. He's just hoofing the ball up. And I think that he's kind of reached a point when he reached his identity crisis. So the manager needs to look himself in the mirror as well. Not only the players, but the manager as well.
Yeah, because, well, in regards to liking a manager, as Roy Keane said, who cares if you like each other? Who cares? Famously, Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole didn't like each other. They hate each other, despise each other. They didn't speak. It's not about friendship here. This is where these players are going wrong. They're thinking, oh, this is not a good environment, blah, blah, blah. A manager's not supposed to be your friend. It's like Roy Keane said, he was never Alex Ferguson's friend. And Sir Alex done a lot for Roy Keane.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You don't play for, if you play the game, you don't play for the manager.
No.
You don't play for the club.
Fans. You play
for the fans, and you play for your teammates.
And
because they're your friends.
Yeah, and you got to show yourself some respect as well. You got to think about who you're playing for. Do they not know our history? This is what I'm thinking. These people need to go to the Man United Museum, watch a few videos, about Sir Bobby Charlton and players like that, Brian Robson, etc., and watch a few videos about it. Think about what they're doing.
Oh, we lost Sal there. Are you there?
Yeah. I mean, I can see you now. People died for this club, right? And they need to look at that. They need to look at that and think, who am I playing for? Because Sir Alex used to always bring his father into it. He also used to talk about when his father used to work, how hard he used to work, and he also used to compare his father and to playing football, how easy these players have got it, as opposed to what his father had it. And I think it's hard to install this generation a bit of discipline, and because they don't relate to it, because they're on social media. Life's easy. Life's a lot better for them. Blah blah blah. They don't have manual labor jobs, etc. So it's hard with this whole generation, this whole thing. I blame Ten Hag about 40% with the players he's picking. But I don't know whether these players have sold their soul. I don't know what it is, but they're playing every single week. I don't know why, but under every single manager, they're playing. And it's about time Ten Hag made a statement against Chelsea and said, right, none of them play. None of them. And just play his own team. Well, if hopefully that isn't his team. And play his own team and drop the...
That's exactly... You're singing the same hymn sheet as Jarvis was WhatsApping me this morning to say exactly what you said. Play your own team, get rid of 50% of those that don't want to play for you. It's not about playing for the manager. It's like any work situation. Take football aside. You come to a work environment because you come there for your workmates. You have fun, you work with your teammates, and you don't want to let them down, right? But everyone don't like the manager. Everyone will backstab the manager, right? True. And once you engage with the company's culture, then you will run through the brick walls. So if you have good engagement, corporate culture, corporate branding, employee branding situation, it runs all the way from the CEO down to the mailroom. That everyone is on the same page, everyone is steering the boat to the same direction. The more engaged staff, the better performance. Everyone knows that, right?
Exactly, and in a real working environment, that's how it is.
You turn up for the team, because if you're not doing your job in a project, everything falls, right? And if you misbehave, you get sin bin, or you've been put aside and giving a performance plan.
But unfortunately, football's the only sport where you don't have to perform to get paid, and this is the problem with football. And you could leave, or you could get sacked and get paid off. It's one of the craziest jobs there is. I mean, in regards to, you could do bad and get paid, for doing
Yep.
bad, and you got your agent. I mean,
Listen,
can you imagine all of us at a normal job had an agent?
yeah, true. They don't even speak. I mean, agents don't in a transfer market. Agency don't want to speak to the Glazers anymore because they don't pay the money, and we were so far behind in the payments. They don't want to pay the money. So for us to get those cheap talents, like from the grassroots, and that's why we never get them, because everyone knows what the Glazers are like, right? And that's why we're getting scrutinized in the market to pay the Manchester United tax. But anyway, I just want to transition over to there's a lot of people in the chat, guys. Sorry for neglecting you. We are not really neglecting. We are just two passionate Reds talking. Please do leave your comments. Please like this video, put some thumbs up, because it certainly helps the algorithm. We are not like the greedy Glazers. We don't take your dividends, but we do take your like buttons. You know what I mean? Subscribe if you haven't as well. Listen, I got to transition over to the next thing, which ties beautiful into what we've been talking about. And that's basically, again, this British bias, right? Again, this protecting the Brits, protecting this is the best for Manchester United. It doesn't matter, right? If you're like this, but it also comes down to Sir Jim Ratcliffe again. Like, I want to hear from you, because for me, this doesn't make sense. I mean, Sky News has been blowing smoke on people's asses since the very first beginning. Sky News, according to my opinion, Sal, was the one that first broke out that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is advanced. It's going to happen now. Qatar is out. It's been Sky News all along, and it's been sort of co-quoted or co-reported by all the other media apparatus. So they've been leading the line. And Mark Kleinman, he's a good reporter. But Mark Kleinman, whatever you're doing, stop, because you've been saying Monday, Tuesday, no, Thursday, next week, or next year, or now Christmas, and now, okay. Man, this is too much, man. What are they doing, Sal?
It's beginning to sound like Craig David, 7 days, isn't it? So it's every
Groundhog Day.
week. Oh, it's every week. It's next week. Oh, it's next week. I mean, this whole Ratcliffe thing for me, it's got an air of negativity about it. I haven't been happy about the whole process since the beginning. We haven't heard from Ratcliffe. Maybe he's legally binded. He can't say anything at the moment, but
nobody can. That's the thing. Nobody can.
It's like everyone's guessing at the moment. Everyone's guessing what's going on. 25%. What's going on? And the whole media thing in the UK. I mean, we've heard it since the World Cup. This anti-Qatar thing that has been going on, and the media just really want to push this Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Sir Jim, because he's one of ours. Yeah, the ties really into the Islamophobia agenda. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And as an Englishman, I can say that, because that is what it is. Call it for what it is. We've been hearing virtual signaling and, United this, United under Qatar. We don't want to be state-owned, blah, blah, blah. When we all know every billionaire has his skeletons in the closet, don't we?
Yeah, there's no nice billionaires.
And I don't even like calling Jim Ratcliffe Sir, because obviously Sir Matt Busby, Sir Bobby Charlton, Sir Alex Ferguson. I have standards on what I call Sir, because I don't know nothing about the guy. But all I know is at the moment he's enabled the Glazers, and I'm unhappy about that. I mean, only Sky, what's his Calavar of Sky Sports? He's spoken about the Glazers negatively. Yeah.
Cavi, I like Cavi, yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one who's spoken about the Glazers, to be honest with you. And that's, I mean, other than what he said about the leaks in the dressing room, I mean, the sources, the leaks, yeah. He's got sources.
Let's just call it what it is. I think, on this channel, we always look at, two sides of a story. At the end of the day, the truth is in the middle. We don't create the news. We just discuss the news. We put our thoughts and feelings to it, but we always use logic, sense, and reasoning. And, I've been doing this for the past 12 months, over 200 podcasts regarding the takeover, following the finances, having had a lot of people on here, experts in the industry, lawyers, you name it. And nobody has ever told me that this makes any sense. Tomorrow, I have Anil Kandola on from Talk Sports. He did a podcast yesterday with Ben Jacobs. And they've been driving this gravy train to say, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But at the same time, they've been so adamant, we're talking about the Irish journalist, which I'm not going to mention, from Independent, that's been state-backed anti-human rights, but nobody's really talking about Ineos and the greenwashing style of it. It's so glorified, and he's Manchester bred, born and bred. They put up a sign over the weekend just before, like, welcome to Manchester, and that was quickly demolished and vandalized, and that tells you what the local Mancunians are actually thinking, about Sergio.
Yeah, he hasn't warmed his hearts to the worldwide
but
fan
on the other
base.
hand, how much great PR do you get, like, just by being attached to the name Manchester, just by being part of this bidding process, right? So it doesn't really make sense to me that you gone from 69%. You could have bought Chelsea for 4 billion, but you didn't, right? You still made up a pipe dream story that you came in too late, and you attached yourself to Manchester United, and you've been complicating and throwing spanners in the wheel by going from 69% to 51 to 25% stake. And it comes down to the steakhouse analogy again. Why would you do that, right? So I think this is a lot of Sky News driven, right? This is driven by the media agenda, according to my opinion. Same like this is, same as Graham Souness. The same thing applies here. Like what we see here is exactly what we see here.
It's the same pattern everywhere.
Same pattern. And it says could be announced. Like the Old Trafford club, Ineos Sports, hope to announce the 33. Hope to announce. That's what they're hoping. So basically, they're getting the information from the Ineos camp, like the Ineos PR team. And by the way, isn't it an NDA attached to it? Like, so they have the PR, external PR. They have their lawyers and stuff like that. And of course, they are speaking to these PR machines, right? This is generating positive PR. Otherwise, Mark Kleinman is a brilliant journalist. I have a lot of respect. But when you sign an NDA and when you're working on a multitude of $1 billion takeover, there's certain people that knows about this deal, right? There's Rain Groups, there's the Glazers, and there's the chief of legal at Manchester United, the CEO, and that's about it. Like, the rest is just speculations, like, what you hear in Cantina. Fabrizio Romano gets his information from what the coaches, the staffs. They don't know anything about the takeover. So
they don't, and they're just guessing at the moment. Maybe the takeover will happen, but at the moment they're just guessing. At the moment they're just guessing. Well, it depends what Jim Ratcliffe's plans are. If he's not had a great track record of owning football clubs. I mean, if he comes in and he sacks Ten Hag, that's a good way to take a portion of the fan base on his side, isn't it? Sack Ten Hag. He means business. Look at him. He means business. He's putting the Manchester back into Manchester United. Why not put the United back into Manchester United instead of thinking about Manchester? Because Man United are a global fan base around the world. I mean, when I heard that comment, straight away it was alarm bells. It was straight away alarm bells. And I would urge any Man United fan who supports Jim Ratcliffe to say, if you've been a Man United fan all your life in your 75 whatever years, show us a picture of you at Old Trafford in your 70 years before the takeover. Show us a picture in your Man United top.
100%.
I bet you won't. I bet you can't. And that's it. And we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's the only option now. But he has, let's not pretend he didn't destroy the Qatar bid. He did. He's the one who...
Well, nobody knows. Here's the thing. This has been driven by Sky News, and I haven't seen one single concession speech coming to confirm this from Qatar whatsoever. This has been co-tweeting by Sky News. All the publications by journalistics that have quoted Sky News as the source, right? And here we go again to say, like, and first and foremost, how do you know the price of the share? Because that is pure stock market manipulation to say $33 a share, right? On the other hand, 25% has been said, it's going to happen Monday next year, New Year. I would say never, right? And there was even report. They were even blowing reports that say that, oh, wait a minute, Joel and Avram wants an exit plan. They want to get out of here. But if they want to get out of here, then surely that 100% deal from Qatar was the way out, because they buy everyone. If you're going to talk about a phased buyout, like, will Joel and Abram, we give you 1.2 right now, and perhaps within 3 years, perhaps, if the club is worth 10 billion. I say we've been blowing a lot of smoke up our asses here, right? To be honest, we see how the media is working, and everyone wants to win a Pulitzer Prize. That's what it is.
It's been going on for months and months. Everyone's got the latest news. Everyone, is telling us about. We had Jim Ratcliffe and the Qatar fan base division again, and the Glazers win because all the Glazers have done is divide the fans again and split the fans up in regards to Ratcliffe and Qatar. And this is what they do. And they will continue to do that.
Yeah.
If Qatar did suddenly come out the woodwork and they did win the bid, it would make UK media look very, very bad.
Maybe that's the strategy. Maybe that's the plan. Silence is golden. You don't know. Nobody really knows. But I just smell that this ain't far from over, to be honest, right? This is too much smoke, but where's the fire? There's no consistency in the stories. There's surely what you're seeing, media driven. And the only way you can find out, it will be through a club announcement, right? Until then, it's getting bloody boring. We desperately need a makeover, right? And even if it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe that comes in, we should question it. We should question every single bid, and we should look at, okay, what is your manifesto to put Manchester back into Manchester United? And this guy, are you mad? Do you even feel the room? Like, the majority of the United million fan base are outside UK, right? This so-called E-red fans.
People are putting them on a pedestal too soon. We need to test them like a player. We need to say, okay, what you got? What you gonna do for us? What's the plan then in January? Yeah, that's what we need to do. And I guarantee you, he probably signed one or two players. It's just a bit of a PR spin, and that's it. That's if it does happen. The Glazers might even stay. And we're just going to be going on the
guys. See, we're just applying our logical thoughts to it. It's not that we are creating the news or anything. We're just discussing as fans. People, so don't clip us for this one, right? I certainly, my personal opinion, I believe that I'm smarter than the fifth grader here to see that. First and foremost, you cannot report $33 a share because it's insider trading, and certainly not when you guys say that you're going to start this week. Well, where's the announcement? And you also have to report it to New York Stock Exchange. People are not stupid, to be honest, right? And then you see, the overall sales takeover over this past year. It's been nothing but a shambolical media frenzy report, right? So, at the end of the day, we need a resolution quickly. We need money. We are broke as a club. We've seen the financial reports. Glazers needs to sell, and that's all we know, right? But anyway, I'm gonna speak tomorrow to Anil Kandola, by the way. Yeah, on a podcast, lunch podcast.
Yeah, he follows me. He's a good journalist. Hopefully, we get some information about what's going on.
Anyway, so should we nip this in the bud, or what should we draw to a conclusion? Roast the media.
Roast the media, don't fall for the same tricks that the media are doing, that the players are doing, and just keep believing. And obviously, we hope that things change against Chelsea. We got Chelsea on Wednesday, and hopefully the team changes and we see some kind of intent from Ten Hag.
Yeah, big up Gas Taylor, big up everyone that came in here. Compost Smurf, we see you, we feel you. Jolly Malmin, everyone that's here. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and go follow Sal as well and Stretford Post account as well. Mate, thank you again for coming in. We've gone a little bit over time, but we usually stick to 45 minutes. Make sure you give us a little bit of a retweet if you are on Twitter. Get your thumbs up. The more the merrier. If we get 100, we are happy. If we get 1, that's even also happy. You know what I mean? Sal, we're also playing a game tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, Miss Chelsea.
And what do you expect? What do you expect from the manager's press conference?
I hope I see the Ten Hag that we saw last season. I hope that he's got that ruthlessness, but angry Ten Hag, like an angry Alex Ferguson, like angry Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. We need an angry Ten Hag. We don't want a Ten Hag praising the players. We don't want none of that. We don't want a Ten Hag saying that we're going in the right direction, because we're not. we're going backwards from last season. So we need truth, and we need an angry, resentful, whatever you want to say it, ready to go Ten Hag, ready to rock and roll football on tomorrow.
Rock and roll. It's a big midweek, basically. United versus Chelsea, Gordon Dubravka versus Aston Villa, right? So it's Villa versus Newcastle as well, right? So it's a big midweek.
It's a big midweek. And Gordon, he's got a case for the England team. He's got a case for the England team. He should be in there instead of our old boy.
Oh, he's amazing. He's bloody amazing, to be honest.
He is. He'll choose Scotland if we're not careful.
Yeah. Anyway, Sal, always a pleasure to have you here. Guys, I know it's morning for you in UK. Wherever you're sitting, I know this evening for people in Australia. We saw you. Eva Bosic was here. We saw also some from people from India. Jeff Steele is here. Nick as well. Nick Bell. Yeah, we saw you all, guys. But we do apologize. We're running out of time. And listen, tune in later. We're going to do the manager's press conference live. We're going to broadcast it live. And later on, Sal, we're going to do Chelsea versus Manchester United. We're going to have Chelsea down in the studio. We're going to roast some Chelseas. Anyway, guys, have a lovely rest of your day. And Sal, where can people find you again?
Stretford Post, spelt normally, on Instagram and Twitter.
That's it. All right, people, stay beautiful and don't let the media headlines affect you. Always use your logic, sense, and reasoning. And we've been here roasting it and toasting it. Sal, see you till the next time. Hopefully we see you tomorrow, mate. Goodbye, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like and subscribe. Glazes out, bankers out, green and gold until we solve. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.